Welcome to the Father's Day feast with the Gastro Guru at home. We're going to be making a do-it-yourself barbecue sauce with ribs, a flash pickled slaw, and two amazing cocktails that's going to make Dad's Day even better. So, as always, we got to start off with a cocktail. I've got blackberries frozen in ice. Yes, those aren't bugs. And next, I'm going to add in a beautiful gin. This is from a local distiller called Last Straw, and it has some great citrus tones, nice and fresh. I'm going to add in spicy ginger beer and just adding that in. So this is a very simple mule, but the complexity because of the gin and the botanicals in there, as well as the blackberries starting to melt, provides an awesome cocktail. Oh, beautiful, so refreshing. And as the ice melts, the blackberries are gonna get in there and we get to eat those too. So let's make some simple syrup. Simple syrup is essentially half water, half sugar. I've got 2 cups of water in here, a cup and a half of fine sugar. Then I've got some beautiful cherries that I just finished slicing up. You wanna make sure that you're piercing all of the fruits so that we actually get a lot of interplay between the liquids. Next, I'm gonna add in 2 lemons because lemons and cherries taste amazing. I'm gonna throw this on the range, crank it up on high and let it reduce by half, which is gonna take about 30 minutes while we're cooking up our ribs and also making our barbecue sauce. So now we're gonna start making up our sauce and also marinating our ribs. So I've got a mixture of vegetable stock and chicken stock that I'm gonna pour over our ribs. And basically you just wanna get it so that there's probably about 1.5 inches of liquid. Then we're gonna add in, this beautiful Canadian whiskey. So this has got some great oaky tones to it. That Last Straw rye is so smooth, and by covering all of the ribs with alcohol, it actually helps to soften the protein, so you don't have to cook them super slow for a long time. So we've got about 2/3 of a bottle in there. Next, I'm gonna add in some garlic. This is prepared garlic. Only gonna put in half of what we need. The rest is all gonna go into our sauce. And I'm also going to dust these guys with Tony Chachere's. This is an amazing Creole seasoning that I have become addicted to over my years on this planet. So is my dad, actually. And every time I think about Father's Day, I always think about ribs. So here we go. A little bit of Worcestershire as well, just to give it some nice flavor, a little bit of saltiness in there, and coat in them liberally. Now let's put together the rest of our sauce. We're gonna put in some shallots. So I'm just gonna peel these guys. This gives us some great flavor. And we're gonna saute these up and cook them on high. And I'm gonna drop a little bit more of the rye in there. You know, when you do these little tricks, you don't have to cook things for so long and reduce them to be able to get the same great flavor. So I'm gonna throw these into the bowl and I'm gonna add them into our pan. There we go, let's toss them in. So we're just gonna add in our shallots and we're gonna let them brown for about 2 minutes before we start adding in our Last Straw rye. So I'm adding in some of our darker side whiskey just to be able to release all of the brownings. So as that's sizzling away, we're gonna finish making up our sauce. So I've got 3 cups of ketchup here. Basically, my rule of thumb is 1 cup of ketchup per rack of ribs. So I'm gonna get that in there. Next, I've got a healthy portion of Montreal steak spice. And then I'm gonna add in some Tabasco chipotle. So if you really start thinking about the flavors here, we've got savory, sweet, we've got the earthy tones of the shallots, we've got the strong tone from the rye, and then also the smoky sweet of the chipotle Tabasco. So which is terrific. And I'm gonna add in a little bit more of the Tony Chachere's. I've got some honey that I'm gonna add in as well. So that's gonna help to thicken it up. I'm gonna add all this in, and then we're gonna put this all together with our shallots that are being sauteed right now, and then let it simmer. And now I'm gonna show you an amazing trick. We're actually gonna use the liquid after it reduces from the ribs and add it into our sauce before we shellac them. It's gonna be amazing. Let's add this in. So we've got the rest of our sauce. We're just gonna pour it in with the rest of our shallots and give it a good stir so this can combine. Already the aromatics are just awesome. You're getting the sweet, the savory, the earthy, the everything. And I'm gonna check in on our simple syrup, which is coming together nicely. I'm actually gonna turn it down just a little bit. And there we go. Sauce is only gonna take about 7 minutes on medium, and then we're gonna reduce it right down to medium low, just so it can thicken. So I'm grilling the pineapple for our flash pickled slaw. This is gonna give it some great sweetness, and it's gonna be beautiful with the acidity of the vinaigrette. So I'm just flipping the pineapple now, and we just want them to be nice and charred. Right now I'm gonna add some more of the stock and some more of the whiskey. So our ribs are looking amazing. Our pineapple is done. Now it's time to assemble our slaw. This is super, super easy. So I've got some rice wine vinegar. So we've got a cup there. If you're using prepared garlic, save the juice and put it into your pickling solution. Next, I'm gonna add in some nutmeg. This is gonna really bring everything together. And I'm also gonna add in my water. So I've got a cup and a bit of the rice wine. Now I've got a cup of water in there. 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, and then of course a little bit of black pepper and Himalayan sea salt for seasoning. And all I'm gonna do is get this to a rapid boil and then just keep it on simmer until our ingredients are all ready. So let's throw that on and start using our mandolin. So I'm just finishing up our red cabbage using the mandolin, so we can assemble our beautiful slaw. Always be careful when you're using mandolin. It is crazy sharp, and I know I have lost several layers of skin using it. So use the holder and make sure that you're constantly watching the adjustment on here, because when you put lots of pressure on it, a lot of times it will stop to cut at the exact same size, and that's exactly what you want. Because we need all this to be very uniform so that it pickles and chills at the exact same rates, and I think we are good. Yes, we are. So I've got beautiful red cabbage, Savoy cabbage, which is that crinkly kind. And then we've got our grilled pineapple that's gonna go in there. Our pickling solution, I can already smell all the flavors coming together, so I know that it is perfect. We've got red onion, and then we've got cucumber on there. Yeah, baby. I love this slaw. So I'm gonna add in the pickling solution while it's boiling. And then when I cover it up, toss it into the fridge, so it's gonna steam as well as pickle all those great ingredients that we've got. So it actually moistens it, makes it nice and malleable, but it still has a nice little bit of crunch. So I'm gonna wind up sealing that, and then we are gonna make another cocktail, check on those ribs, and finish things up. So the liquid is almost completely evaporated, and the ribs are super tender. You can tell because by picking them up, they bend so nicely. So I'm gonna throw these onto the grill to be able to give them a little bit of char and to glaze them with the sauce. So I'm just putting the ribs down onto the grill on indirect heat, and I'm gonna sauce them up. I already added in the renderings from the pan into the sauce, so it just keeps on building the flavors without having to reduce it by too much. This is only gonna take about 25 minutes to put a beautiful glaze, and they're gonna fall off the bone perfect. So I've seasoned and oiled up these beautiful seasonal veggies, and I'm gonna throw some corn, heirloom carrots, and scallions onto the grill to dress up the plate. Ribs are off the grill, coleslaw is done, now it's time for the final cocktail, and you can't have Father's Day without an amazing old fashioned. So we're using this gorgeous Canadian whiskey again. So we've got 2 ounces in here. Here is our simple syrup, fresh lemon juice. So we're gonna add in some Angostura orange bitters into this old fashioned just to finish it off, give it a nice little swirl. Nose it, amazing. Beautiful Bing Cherry Old Fashioned with the darker side. Gonna light it up with this cigar later on. Until next time, guys, keep cooking, stay healthy, and sanitize before you eat. Enjoy. Have a terrific Father's Day.